Hello, I'm John Perry, and I'm joined by Representative Jim Tedder. Representative, it's nice to see you.
Thanks, John. Thanks for having me in.
We've talked in the past about career technical education. There is actually legislation in the Michigan House right now that basically would provide a little more flexibility to the Michigan merit curriculum for students, for young people who want to follow a path in career technical education. I have to think that would be good news. You probably hear from folks who have jobs, careers available, but don't see anybody in the pipeline.
Absolutely. We have an enormous deficit with respect to the talent in this state. And there are employers all over the state eager to hire folks, but we simply need to get more young people into the pipeline of career and technical education. And I believe the package of bills that we're voting on this week will certainly be a good start to that.
Do you hear from people in the district who say, I would like to hire a diesel mechanic, I would like to hire a welder, but as it stands right now, I have those positions going wanting?
Yeah, I would say it's across the board. Pick your area of skill, and there are employers looking to hire those folks. And so with that being said, we've got a pretty comprehensive package of bills that I look forward to supporting. One is a revisit from last year when I served on the Talent and Workforce Development Committee. We passed legislation that allowed students to take a coding or programming class in lieu of what we would classically define as a foreign language course. And so many of us would argue that coding, even welding, auto mechanics, those are all foreign languages if you aren't versed in those skill sets. And so we're revisiting that legislation, removing the sunset provision, and then we're also adding additional bills within the package that would include allowing a student to take a statistics course in lieu of Algebra 2. So we're going to see a move toward more hands-on application with respect to earning math credits and also language credits.
But there's really no question, though, that career technical education curriculum is very rigorous.
Oh, there's no question. I think there's a false assumption, in my view, that we are dumbing down the curriculum to accommodate certain students, when I would argue, not every student is talented enough to work with their hands and their mind. And those are the young people we're talking about. There are some talented artisans and craftspeople that you put them in a hands-on environment, they're not only going to show you what they know, but they're going to be able to tell you what they know. And so we're talking about some real talented young people. And look across the state, look at the complexity and the degree of many of the commercial and residential structures that we build. Look at our bridges and our roads and the complexity through which we need to approach those projects. These are the young people that we're gearing up for those types of jobs. So I'd put these young people on, up to bat against just about anybody.
There's probably something to be said, too, for having one of those well-paying jobs when you're still in your 20s as compared to maybe paying off tens and thousands of dollars in college loans.
There are a great many organizations, union and non-union alike, that offer a apprenticeship type program. So over the course of 4 years, you are not only engaging in classroom instruction, but more often you are actually applying that classroom learning in a very hands-on environment and getting paid to do so. I think starting salary, including having all of your schooling covered, is probably $15 or more, and that number increases each and every year that a student participates in a program. And so you're guaranteed job placement on the back end of that with the journeyman's certification. And really, the sky's the limit. You're talking about $50,000 to $80,000 jobs, not far out of high school. Looking counter to that, when students go off to college, they're facing $80,000 to $100,000 in costs and aren't really receiving any financial benefit during their tenure as a student.
On another topic, good news early this spring for the Clarkston Wolves.
Yes, I was with my family just this past Saturday over at the Breslin Center, and was really excited to see our Clarkston Wolves kind of shatter that glass ceiling on its to the state championship. And so we are now officially Class A state champions in boys varsity basketball. And you know, hats off to Coach Fife, has been at the helm as our head coach for the better part of 35 years. He's a Clarkston kid himself, and returned to pour his heart and his soul and his love of kids into this program. And while many would argue he's you know, achieved more than most coaches could ever imagine in terms of the young men that he's developed. But to see him, you know, cap off a really colorful career with a state title is just beyond words.
Jim Tedder, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.